way, there it is. And we've got that cool vest sound. It's like it's slowly disintegrating. That is super cool. Hey guys, welcome back to iCraftMC's World. In this episode of our Let's Play, we're going to be showing the best way and the easiest way of defeating the Ender Dragon, and how to get Dragon's Breath in the process. But before we do that, we're going to make today's banner of the day. Today's banner starts with a gray banner and light blue dye. The light blue dye is going to be the light blue chief indented, which is this shape right here. Then we're going to go on to a light blue chief Dexter Canton, which is this shape right here. Then we're going to go on to a light blue border indented, which is this shape right here. Then we're going to go on to a gray, or we're going to go on to a light blue border indented. And now we're going to go on to a lime base, which is this shape right here. Then we're going to go on to a gray thing pattern, which is made with an enchanted golden apple and a piece of paper. And we're going to end off last but not least with a brown base indented, which is this shape right here. And you can see what it makes a gray cat sitting on a dirt block banner, or a grass block. I think it's a very cool banner, and I think that it's just really cool to have a cat banner, since of course animals are something that's really cool, and of course cats are in Minecraft, and you could really make this with any color you want to, just swap out the gray dye for a different color. So we'll put that in our banner garden next to all of our other cool banners. We'll put it maybe right there. There we go, there's our cat banner. Anyway, there's a couple things we have to do, very few, before we go to defeat the Ender Dragon, but it's important to know. So, of course, I do have full netherite armor and elytra, since I have already defeated the Ender Dragon once. However, for the sake of the tutorial, and for the sake that most people will not be defeating the Ender Dragon with elytra, we're going to do it without. So I just have my netherite armor here. You don't even need netherite armor, you can use even iron, just as much as you can possibly get. The other important thing is basically to make sure all of your enchantments are as high as possible. So we're just going to upgrade our bow here as high as we can. So we're just going to get power 5 on there. We're going to get flame on there. And you can always do either infinity or mending, but I'm going to do mending because I prefer it. And we will just call this Ibartham's bow, or like this. There we go. That looks awesome. And of course some arrows are important. We'll also quickly upgrade, let's see here, sharpness 5. Our 4, we're going to put that on our sword like this. And we may as well name this Ibartham Sharpness Sword. The reason why I always tend to name my tools is I found that it can just be really easy when you're, let's see, Sharpness Sword. I think that's how you spell it. Let's see here, Sharpness, yeah, there we go. Yeah, so basically I found that it just, when you're kind of scrolling through like this, you can actually see the name down below. And so just make things easier and more easily referenced. Another thing you're going to want if you are resummoning the Ender Dragon is end crystals, which are just made like this. Eyes of Ender, gas tears, and glass like this. Not too difficult. So anyway, what you're going to want to do when you're defeating the Ender Dragon is you're going to want to have, at very least, some ender pearls. You can always collect those once you're in the end. You're going to want a water bucket. You're going to want hopefully some scaffolding, or at very least some dirt blocks. You want a good food source, so I have golden carrots here. And you would be very useful to have a bow and arrow. In fact, you basically can't do without it. So I am going to go to the stronghold, and I'll be right back once I'm there. Alright, here we are at the stronghold, and of course you'd want to be filling these in if you haven't defeated the Ender Dragon before. So we're going to jump in, and here we go. So I actually have built on this end already a Enderman farm, but it shouldn't actually matter because of the way where the Ender Dragons fly. So at the very worst, it may destroy a bit of those leaves, but even still shouldn't be a big issue whatsoever. So we're going to go up here, and of course we're going to resummon this thing, and then I'll go through all the steps of how to deal with this, and basically how to just kill the Ender Dragon in the right way. Now there's one other thing I brought, which I forgot to say, super important, is as many glass bottles as you can possibly bring. Now this is a huge amount, I don't think we'll even need this many, but basically it's just a super useful thing to have, so you can grab Dragon's Breath. And of course, you know, even a little bit of Dragon's Breath is a good thing to have, because there's some really cool potions you can make with that. Alright, so what we want to do is you just want to put end crystals around the end portal frame just like this. Super simple. And this should re-summon the Ender Dragon. So, let's see if it works. Yeah, there we go. You can see those beams go up there. This is super cool, this animation. Oh, it looks like it's going that way. Oh, right, it has to refill in all the crystals like this, because of course we'll have to destroy these eventually. And I don't actually think you can destroy these end crystals right now. They're like, what they call immortal end crystals. But yeah, it looks like they're all powering up to go up there. That's super awesome. And it's a pretty awesome animation that they have all this just for resummoning. Oh yeah, and all the crystals power together. What will it do? It will resummon the Ender Dragon. That was extremely loud. And I even got the achievement for that, which is pretty awesome. And I also think this is the boss music for that, I think. So that's awesome as well. So what you want to do when defeating the Ender Dragon is, first of all, get rid of all these crystals. Now that's pretty simple, but what you also want to do is make sure you have water on you. Now there's actually not much of a point of getting the dragon's breath until you've done this first step. So we're going to do that first. So we're going to go up here and get all these. Now the trick to getting these in a way that is not super dangerous, because they do explode, is to go up here and then to branch off a bit. And again, the Ender Dragon could hit you. Generally, they're honestly not really aiming for you, so it's usually not too bad. Like, this wasn't that bad. Now from here, we can aim at this one. We can aim at this one. Alright, let's see if there's any others we can grab. Again, looks like the Ender Dragon's coming towards us. Somewhat? Yeah, it is. So we'll just get down here. This should be a safe decision, just to get as low down as we can. And yet you can see it did destroy where we were. So it just takes a bit of insight, kind of assuming where you think the Ender Dragon could go. Let me just turn down the sounds here for just a second, because it is quite loud. So there we go. Yes, there's Dragon's Breath right there. You can right click on that with a bottle, but I find it's better to collect that once you've destroyed all the crystals, just so that kind of first things first kind of thing. So we'll just wait for that to disappear. We can probably just jump in this a little bit. It doesn't matter too much as long as you're not in it for too long, although we do have pretty good armor too, so it definitely makes a difference. Alright, so now we're going to go to this tall tower over here. Or maybe we'll go to this one that's caged, actually, since you do have to go to the top of every caged tower. Something interesting is that End Stone can't actually be destroyed by the Ender Dragon, so technically you could pile up with that too if you wanted. That could always be an idea. Looks like the Ender Dragon has angered a bunch of Endermen, which is always a little bit interesting. Looks like I might up kind of in the wrong area. Looks like that Ender Dragon is very close, so again, always important to be kind of careful with that. Let's see if there's anything else we can reach from here easily. Looks like there is, but again, really just looking around at what position the Ender Dragon is in currently. Looks like it just hit at us, and we're going to get down here, so we are not damaged by that. And there we go, there's a bunch of those done, which is awesome. Well, we got a few more to do, but again, this is just kind of a fun part of this. Of course, this is basically the most difficult part overall, is just grabbing all these. So let's see what else we have. There's one tower over there, we can probably just reach that without doing anything else, which is good. And another really cool benefit of resummoning the Ender Dragon, which of course would be getting, mostly for getting Dragon's Breath if you haven't already, but a really cool benefit of it is you can actually get multiple end gateways, which can make it really, oh, looks like there's some more Dragon's Breath here, so we'll just get right out of here, and we'll make our tower over here, but anyway, is you can actually get multiple end gateways, which is super cool, because with that, then basically you can just kind of get to different parts of the end really easily. Yeah, so anyway, when doing this, basically, of course, scaffolding is good. If not, you can just pile up with dirt. But it's all about basically just getting to these towers. That dragon is extremely close. Yeah, that is very close. And I think touching the dragon is some kind of instant death, I believe. Okay, there's that. And it seems like it hurts the dragon every time we hit it. Let's see if we can grab that crystal way up there. But again, oh, looks like, okay, let's get right down. Looks like the dragon's definitely going after us. Now let's say we jumped off of here by accident. We can do a water bucket like that. MLG, whatever they call that. The MLG water bucket. So you can do that, of course. It's always good to have a water bucket on you because there's oftentimes near-death situations like that that can call for a water bucket. Now I'm not sure if all the crystals are gone or not. Let's see. You can actually see because of where it's charging to. So apparently it's charging to here. This could be the last one. It's often good to have the scaffolding on a side nearest to the middle, I think they call it the fountain, because then basically you can see like if it's coming towards you or not, which can make things a lot easier. And of course with the oh crap, there's the dragon. Okay, that was right in our face. And the dragon can certainly aim for us, so it's good to kind of get out of its way. We can hit it now even, just there's not much of a point because it'll re-get its health up. And of course it's also important when doing this to really just not look at the Endermen, because they'll just cause a whole nother issue there, and they can actually be in some ways more dangerous than the Ender Dragon. So we're just going to go straight up here. It is going to kind of be protecting this. This is always kind of dangerous going up here. We have our water bucket in hand, so hopefully we can do a MLG water bucket if we need to. So we'll just go all the way up here on the edge, and again, we usually do run into the iron bars, or are near the iron bars, and this one's actually completely empty. So we're just going to get over here like this. A bit scary, but grab that. Alright, and I don't think there's any other. No, there's one over there. Let's see if we can actually grab it from here. Okay, there where that went. Now we can actually have one more option to get down from here, which is a water bucket like this. Grab it again, and just get down here as fast as we possibly can, because of course there's an Ender Dragon right nearby, which is always a little bit nerve-wracking, but yeah, we still got it, which is good. Alright, so we have almost all this now, which is awesome. Just one more, which is that really tall one. These tall ones are always going to tend to be the difficult ones. You can also kind of climb up these towers with water buckets. It just can be quite difficult, so I would tend to say that's probably not the best idea. But you can always do that. So I think there was this tall tower here. Let's take one more look at where... Oh, ouch. Ender Dragon right in our way. And again, that thing can fling you super far, even into the void. So it's really important just to be like that really quick with the water bucket, which is just very quickly. Now it's going to kind of go around this tower because it knows it's important. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our tower of scaffolding. This is why it can always be useful to start. I don't think that one's angry at us. No, it's not. That's why it's always important to have scaffolding. Again, if you don't have it, not a big issue. You can just kind of tower up, but then we can actually pre-make our tower up here before we even have to go up. See, now it actually destroyed that, so they can definitely be an issue. And it looks like there's some dragons right here too. It's really trying to prevent us. The AI actually isn't that amazing on the Ender Dragon. It's decent, it's just not amazing. So it will tend to go for you, but it's not horribly difficult to do. So we're going to go up here. And basically, yeah, just again, it's always a risk going up these towers, but it's what we have to do. And we'll have our water bucket in hand. Even if the Ender Dragon does fling us, we do have feather falling. But if you don't, even if you do, really, it's going to be very dangerous. Now, I think the Ender Dragon's going for the middle area. This is our perfect moment. That's always the moment you want to go for these dangerous towers, because we have a very small amount of time where we basically have leeway. Now, the reason why we go from here is because these things can damage you. Okay, it is charging from here. Okay, there it goes. That was really close. Let's get our water bucket, and let's do the exact same trick. Get right down. Oh, that was really close, actually. Again, there's always going to be a lot of scary close calls with this every time. So it's just really good to be prepared. And that water bucket, again, like wasn't for the water bucket, if we didn't have feather falling, absolutely would be trapped up there, right? So water buckets are absolutely vital, no matter what you're doing, dirt or otherwise. Basically the only way to do it. Okay, so the Ender crystals are, or the end crystals are done, which is awesome. So now what we want to do is we want to basically get it with the bow and arrow as much as we can. Is there an Enderman after me? No, there's not. It's always good to check that, because if there is, that can be a major issue. So, before we kill this all the way, this is where we get the Dragon's Breath. So basically, we want to grab ourselves out some bottles. It does stack, so it's not a big issue. You can just grab a bunch. Put anything extra, I mean, keep the Ender Pearls just for the sake of intelligence, and a bit of the stuff in here, but you don't have to have a lot. So we'll basically just grab these, and of course I'll time-lapse this once I've shown the main techniques. It does take a while. You basically just right-click on this stuff. So here's one over here, and I don't remember how many balls you can do. Let's see. Not a huge amount. You just kind of go around it right-clicking. So it's 7 bottles, so it's not a whole lot. But what will happen is when the Ender Dragon lands down here, which it does tend to do more so once you've destroyed all of its towers, which we have, it will tend to be on here more. And then what we can do, once it lands, and there's another fireball, and again, these ones it throws around are decent, but the landed ones are better. Once it's landed, it'll make a big puddle of the Dragon's Breath, and we can basically right-click like up to 60 bottles off of that one, and that's kind of how you do it right. So it takes a bit of time. I'd say maybe it would take an hour to fill up all this. I probably won't do all that, or if I will, it won't all be on camera, but I will do a little bit, and I'll show you guys that technique. So it looks like the Ender Dragon is coming down, so it'll often do like this little bit of Ender. Oh, there we go. So we have to be careful here, but yeah, once it's here, then it'll spray down. It'll kind of find a location, super loud. Hopefully you guys can hear me, and we'll just spam right-click as fast as we possibly can. This is definitely the way to get tons and tons of this stuff. We can't even see it still, which is odd, but we can still right-click, and it'll just let me just turn hostile creatures way down, because I can barely. Okay, is that still loud? We'll just turn all the volume down a little bit because we want to be able to do this. So there we go. We just spam right-click on here as much as we possibly can. Just spam. I got tons in this, and you can just see there's tons we've already gotten, over a stack and a half. I have no idea what volume is controlling the Ender Dragon, but it seems to be very loud. Anyway, so we'll just keep right-clicking on this, and you can basically see, just from this one time of the Ender Dragon being on the pedestal, that we can get a lot. Now, it might do one more spray, but what'll happen is once it's done one, before this is fully disappeared, it'll start flying away, and that's a really dangerous time, because you want to make sure, yeah, there we go, so we got a little bit hurt from that, but it'll fly away, and yeah, like this, that was dangerous actually, and we do have netherite, so there's some knockback protection there, but oftentimes that could mean us being flown away into the void. So we now have 2 stacks of this and 15, which is super awesome. But of course we do need a lot more. We don't need a lot more, but you really don't need much at all. But I found it's it's kind of a difficult thing to do. So I found it's good to just get as much as you can. I got all this from a witch farm, and I will show how to. I actually have a video on that. If you want to look up iCraftMC witch farm, I do have a video on that. If you want to know how to get lots of glass bottles, but either way, I will do a bit of a off-camera work here now, getting all of the Dragon's Breath that I can, and I'll be right back once I've done that, and I'll show how to finish off the Ender Dragon. Okay, so here's an awesome trick on how to get Dragon's Breath the quickest way, and I am intentionally paused here. So once the Ender Dragon spews its Dragon's Breath onto the ground, basically what you want to do is you want to go to your options, then go to controls. Then you want to do is go here to use item / place block, click here and click any key on your keyboard that you don't actually use for Minecraft. So let's say M, that's just one that's in a convenient location. Press done. Now basically what you want to do is get yourself a whole bunch of empty bottles here, and then when the Ender Dragon's Breath is here, just hold M, and it'll basically fill up the entire thing in literally 3 seconds. So now this Ender Dragon's probably going to fly away. Be really careful here. If we literally just hold M like this, we can literally fill this up super quickly. Yeah, so basically just the quickest way of getting lots and lots of Dragon's Breath, and hopefully that'll help you as you're trying to get as much as you can. Alright, so I actually only ended up getting 9 stacks of Dragon's Breath. Also, the trick to get tons and tons of Dragon's Breath seems to really only work certain times the Ender Dragon spews the Dragon's Breath, like usually only like the first or second time. When it's on the pedestal there, not the times after that when it's on the pedestal. But anyway, the reason why I don't have more than 9 stacks here is because the Ender Dragon actually destroyed a shulker box. Oh, here it comes right for me. Anyway, the Ender Dragon actually destroyed a shulker box full of the glass that I had. And so it's actually, at least my mistakes possibly will help someone else, but basically the lesson is, for me anyway, is that do not leave shulker boxes out in front of the Ender Dragon because it can destroy them, which is really good to know. So anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to finish up the Ender Dragon. I also should put my keybind back. It's always good not to forget that because it can be a very big annoyance if you do. So we do have a decent sword and we do have a really good bow, so we are going to go for the Ender Dragon. Of course, when it is on the pedestal, this is the easiest time to get it. Bow and arrows actually not work as on the pedestal, so what you do is you basically jump up and right click it like this, or you left click it I suppose, and just hit it with the sword. And of course this won't kill it all the way, but yeah, you could probably get it all the way down this way. We don't want to, oh, okay, now sometimes it'll 3 like that, and of course this time to like this. I do the MLG water bucket thing. Now the Ender Dragon's kind of coming for us. Let's see if we can get it with the bow, because the bow hurts it a lot. Maybe like this, kind of shooting where we think it'll be. I'm not the best at this, but we'll see if we can maybe get a shot on it, like maybe here. Really close, but no, we didn't get it. Also, when it's beginning to land, that can also be a good time to get it with the bow, because then it is kind of in a less way high up location. So we'll see if we can grab this. I mean, again, it's always kind of hit and miss at this point, not the biggest issue. The bow is really useful though. Like, see if we can get it on the way down like this. It might already be immune. No, it is not. So it's not immune until it's actually on the podium. And now it is immune. So now is we will hit the old Ender Dragon like this. Or I guess it's kind of new Ender Dragon. We just summoned it in and just kind of get it in. It seems like when you hurt it, it does tend to fly away faster. I'm not sure why that's the case, but it does seem to be that way. Oh, and here it goes. Okay. And now that it's slowed down, we can probably hit it. Let's see. I mean, it does definitely move very oddly, so it can be very difficult to get it. But there we go. We got it once, and of course every time. Just make things a bit easier later on. Bow isn't super necessary. Just really, its only major use in the Ender Dragon fight is for getting the end crystals. Obviously, you can use snowballs as well. I know some people prefer that. I've just found that a bow and arrow is useful for the combat and for the end crystal breaking, so that's why I tend to use that. So we've almost gotten it all the way down. Let's see if we can finish this up. And it is basically just the old tricks of defeating the Ender Dragon. Nothing's really changed in 1.17, but it's just kind of a good thing to know is kind of the way to defeat it without getting killed, because it's crazy, but actually most people who play Minecraft have never defeated the Ender Dragon in survival, which I find kind of surprising because to me there's so much of the game you can't even unlock without doing that. But maybe this video will give you some courage on how to defeat the Ender Dragon and how not to leave shulker boxes or important boxes around when it's there. And again, I think we can probably get it, and then this one won't work. So probably finish it off. Let's see if we can. And we're going to have that amazing animation. Of course, the XP amount's never very good, but we'll see what we can do. Oh, wait, there it is. And we've got that cool death sound. It's like it's slowly disintegrating. That is super cool. We get a nice screenshot of that. I always like getting screenshots of the Ender Dragon's death, because it's something that's obviously really hard to get. So we'll see if we can heal up some of our items with these, possibly. That could be a good use. We'll maybe heal up our hoe here. And there we go. Anything else? We can maybe heal up the shovel. Perfect. So there we did it. We defeated the Ender Dragon. Of course, there's no egg because we've already defeated it once, and you only ever get one egg unless you have special plugins. But we do have our treasure, which is the Dragon's Breath. Not as much as I wanted because the shulker box is destroyed, but I still got it. Let's see where we ended up spawning in. Okay, we did spawn in here. We can just sleep real quick here. And of course we have these two achievements here, the end again, and you need a mint, which I thought was quite funny. So there we go. If you guys enjoyed this video of how to defeat the Ender Dragon and get Dragon's Breath, make sure to press the like button. Make sure to subscribe to see more content like this. Make sure to comment down what you thought of this video, and make sure to share it with your friends. I'll see you in the next video, and have a good day. Goodbye.